I don't know how to start this video. I guess I should just start with the topic. So, Warner Animation Group, most known for movies like the Lego movies and Storks, struck a deal with Dr. Seuss Enterprises to make a series of films based on Seuss's works, including, but not limited to, The Cat in the Hat. In fact, The Cat in the Hat will be their first project, and they are going to start searching for a writer pretty soon. Take my earbuds off. I don't need it for this video. And they're also producing a Green Eggs and Ham TV show for Netflix. I'm guessing they're gonna do maybe like Sam I Am teaches that grumpy character a bunch of different lessons aside from, having him try green eggs and ham, which... Would you eat green eggs and ham? I mean, I know Seuss fans will say, yes, I will, but it's like, green egg yolk and green ham, like, do you know what's in it? Is there any... this is just some fan fiction bullshit I shouldn't even be talking about. So, the Warner's chairman, Toby Emmerich, had this to say: "Our Pictures Group is home to some of the world's most popular film franchises, and we are honored to add Dr. Seuss titles to that roster. With Warner Animation Group, we've really revitalized our feature animation activities, and this partnership with Dr. Seuss Enterprises will continue our move into world-class, wide-appeal animated fare." And Susan Brandt, president of Dr. Seuss Enterprises, said this: "For generations, Dr. Seuss has entertained and delighted children and adults alike with his whimsical tales. Our partnership with Warner Animation Group continues those efforts by reimagining the beloved characters and stories for theater-going audiences, while keeping the integrity of Dr. Seuss's vision intact." So, I don't know if I've ever said this on camera. I know I've talked about Dr. Seuss before, or at least in my Kumite World days, but Dr. Seuss had a really big... I used to really like his stories as a kid. I remember I used to borrow many... I don't think I borrowed them all, but I borrowed probably most of his books from the elementary school library, and he was one of the first authors that inspired me to get into writing picture stories. I remember I used to write a lot of these fictional stories. They weren't obviously like complicated, like they make my fan fiction look like Lord of the Rings, but they were just like simple, like, character sort of stories. And yeah, that's I guess you could say that's one of the places where I got my creative sort of a start. So, and as for Seuss's movies, I honestly don't hate them as much as, not his, like, the animated specials he did with Chuck Jones are classic in my opinion. Like, the How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the one with the Sneakers, the Cat in the Hat, I forgot how you pronounce the Hubert Highway or something like that. I thought that was fun. And of course, the Grinch Night special, that was a really fun one. I remember, it's funny, they all came out on DVD around the same time. That dreaded Cat in the Hat movie came out in 2003, and I remember I used to watch those like all the time. I think even repeatedly. I remember I would just grab like an ice cream sandwich and watch them. And as for the movies, like the movies in the 2000s, I don't hate them as much as a lot of people do, but I can't quite say they've been the best representations of Seuss. I mean, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the Ron Howard, Jim Carrey movie, admittedly, it's a guilty pleasure for me, but as I get older, I start to realize the flaws. I've become more disillusioned. Cat in the Hat, no, not good. Too many adult jokes. And it's funny, now that I've started watching the Austin Powers movies, when I look in the Cat in the Hat, I basically just see Austin Powers. And It's funny, when I first saw that movie as a kid, I saw it in like 2004 on VHS. I thought the biggest problem was that it didn't follow the book, and that's putting the problems lightly. And then I saw Horton Hears Who. I thought that was really weird. The jokes were really random, especially that one where it turns into an anime, and just the Lorax, which I haven't seen. It does look pretty stupid. From like, I've seen the reviews from guys like Paleo, Sterno, and the Nostalgia Critic, and I don't really like to bash on movies that I haven't seen, but from what I hear, it's a pretty stupid movie. And I know Illumination is working on a How the Grinch Stole Christmas movie, which I'll give them another chance in terms of, I don't think Illumination is like the worst movie studio out there. But given that they made the Despicable Me movies, which in my opinion are just cash grabs, I can't say I'm really expecting something too crazy. Like, I guess the main thing I should get into is, I've heard Illumination was going to make a Cat in the Hat movie at one point, which I'm guessing is now dead because Warner's is going to make their own version. Like, between Warner Animation and Illumination, I would much prefer Warner's. I think they're a much more creative company. I know some people are going to bring up they distributed the Dr. Seuss classic cartoons, but those days are so far out that it's not even fair to make a comparison to Warner's nowadays. Like, the thing is, I haven't seen all of Illumination's movies. I've seen the first Despicable Me, which I thought was okay. Minions, I don't hate Minions as much as a lot of people do, but I just saw it as a cash grab. And I've seen Sing, which it had a good heart, but it wasn't a very creative film to drive that sort of heart. So, and that's the thing. I think I can agree with a lot of people when they say the biggest problem with Illumination's movies is that they're just okay. You know, they're not worth getting up and ranting and raising your pitchforks over. But because of that, it allows them to get away with making movies that are really just a bunch of cash grabs. Not the worst kind of movies, but you can tell they're just being made to sell Minions toys. So we'll have to wait and see, because Seuss's books, even though I'm aware they don't really make the best movie material and they're better suited to 30-minute specials, I honestly want to see like a very creative person take on a Dr. Seuss movie and to flesh it out into feature length. So maybe getting like guys like the Phil Lords, the Chris Millers, the Alex Hirsches of the world. Not saying those three specifically, I'm just saying now in this day and age with the ongoing cartoon revival, there's bound to be somebody out there that can at least give us something pretty decent, or at least something better than Horton Hears a Who. So I don't know, like, in terms of Warner's work, I've only seen the Lego movie, which was a very pleasant surprise, and I was very shocked that it didn't win the Oscar for Best Animated Feature. It wasn't perfect. I thought the live action bits were pretty awkward, but its heart was definitely in the right place. So it's just a matter of Warner's finding the right people to work on this movie. But other than that, I can't say we have any concrete evidence to say that it's going to suck, because Warner's has given some pretty decent, and even if their work wasn't good, like I've heard Lego Ninjago, which I'm a 20-year-old dude, I'm not interested in Ninjago. Like, Ninjago just got mediocre, like, sort of reviews. It wasn't like, oh, fuck, this is like Illumination's Hop movie all over again. So, yeah, so I don't really know what else to say. We'll have to wait and see. I trust Warner Animation more than Illumination, but given the source material they have to work with, I'm not really sure how good it's going to be. So, alright guys, this has been Blood Moon Bobby. Hey guys, this has been a Blood Moon Bobby video. Please like this video or dislike it, and please subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.